Good afternoon and welcome to episode number 26 of a Finch's Nest podcast. My name is Heather and I will be your host today. I am coming to you today from a very cold southwestern Ontario. We have been in a bit of a cold snap, so apparently today's a little warmer than it has been, but I haven't been out yet. I'm staying in where it's nice and warm. So today also happens to be my granddaughter's 5th birthday, so that's exciting. And we're going to go and spend some time with her when she gets home from school today. So that's exciting and hard to believe that she's 5 years old already. It's crazy how quickly the time goes. But she's a sweet, sweet girl, and we're excited to celebrate her tonight. I did make her something for her birthday, so hence why I need to podcast this afternoon before I wrap it up and take it to her. Before we get started, I will tell you that you can find me on Instagram at a Finch's Nest, and I'm never as active as I would like to be, but I do post things on there periodically, so you can keep up with some of what I'm making over there. So I think that's all I wanted to say before we get started, and I have how many? 8 finished objects to show you today. So I have noticed that since Christmas I've been trying to I don't want to say ignore the housework some more, but which is exactly what's happening, but I'm trying to make more time for making because making just makes me happy and housework doesn't. And I'm sure you can all relate to that. So I'm trying to find a good balance of keeping my house clean enough, but having more time to do the things that I feel like I need to do for myself. Oh, and one other thing I should say before we start is I decided to grow my gray. So I feel like I'm just going to have bad hair for a year or so. But yeah, I'm tired of paying to have my hair colored, and it's coming in quite what's the word? It's not like patchy, some people go really patchy. It seems to be coming in very even, and so I just decided that I'm gonna embrace it and show my age. So yeah, excuse the disaster of the hair, but anyways, I think once it grows in, it will be nice. My parents both have beautiful, beautiful white hair. So I'm hoping that I will be blessed with beautiful white hair as well. Anyways, we need to get started because I have a lot to share with you today. And I just noticed my phone. I need to turn that off too. There we go. So I think last time I podcast, I had finished the quilt for my grandson Levi, and it was just heading out to the quilters, I believe. If it was already quilted, I'm sorry, but I'm showing it again. So it is back in the quilters, and I have the binding on. I just need to make a label for the back with his name on. I always just hand embroider a label for the back. I think it says, "Made with so much love by Grandma for," and then I put their first and middle name on it. So I need to do that before I can give him this, and then I want to take the quilt to the park. We have a really beautiful park near us. There's this one little spot that I just want to take the quilt and take a picture of it before I give it to him. There's a trail and lots of big trees, but then there's this one spot where there's this little sort of ratty old looking fence, and I just thought it would look really cute to throw the quilt over the fence and take some pictures of it before he loves it to death. So this is his quilt, and I am so happy with it. I think it's just really cute for a little boy. So this is the Lookout Quilt by Elizabeth Hartman, and I'm sure I won't be able to show you all of this, but here we go, we'll try. So the first row is all trees, and the trees come in 3 different sizes. So it's just a mix of the 3 different sizes. And then the second row has the deer in it, which is so cute. There's a lot of pieces to those little animals, but they turn out really cute. And the trees are easy. It just is a lot of trees after a while. I was kind of getting tired of making them. Oh, and I should say I did not make the crib size because I waited so long to make his baby quilt. I decided to do the lap size, so this will last him for a good long time now. The next row is more trees and the bear. So cute. And then the next row is, again, all the trees. Hold on. This is not easy. And the bunny. So cute. So, a lot of this was scraps that I had. Some of it I just went to like Hobby Lobby and Joann's and just bought like a quarter of a yard to have like some good variety in the fabrics. I really fell in love with this fabric and I wanted to use it on the back, but I couldn't get it anymore. So that was disappointing. But I did find this polka dot, which was very close. So this is what I used for the back. And then for the binding, I just used this sort of mottled green. Now normally with my binding, I will sew it onto the front and flip it over to the back and hand stitch it. But I have been for my grandkids doing it all by machine just because A, I didn't want to do it by hand, but also I know with some of my quilts that we use around my house, sometimes the hand stitching comes loose and then I have to fix them, and I just thought for little ones who are using it all the time, and I don't want them to have to be careful with this or to treat it special or anything, like I want him to drag this around the house. So I just thought it's going to be more durable if I sew it on the machine. So you can see there that I have done that on the machine. So yeah, if you haven't done this before, if you sew it onto the back and flip it over to the front when you want to do it by machine, it just looks a lot neater on the front than if you did it the opposite way. And then the back, you know, isn't perfect, but I also used thread that just blended with what I was using for fabric, so you don't really notice. But there you can see some of the quilting. So there's like a moon and lots of evergreen trees. So I thought it was kind of the perfect pattern to use for this. So this took a long time, mostly because I just didn't have a lot of mojo, it seemed, but I'm glad it's done now. And in some ways I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't make it sooner, but then in other ways he's just at a really cute age right now, and he's really a big grandma's boy. So I think he's gonna just love his grandma blanket now, more so than he would have when he was baby. So I'm excited to give him that. I just have to get the label done, and I was hoping to have it done for tonight when we went to his big sister's birthday, but I don't think that that's gonna happen. So, and that's okay. I will give it to him within the next few days. But it turned out so nice, and if you're curious, I just used cotton batting in it. I always use the cotton battings because they make a nice warm quilt that's not super bulky. So hopefully he has lots of fun building forts with his quilts and dragging it around the house. And I'm just gonna throw that back there. So that's Levi's quilt, finally done. He's only a year and a half. Oh dear. But he will have a nice new quilt. Okay. I know I mentioned before in my podcast that I'd signed up for the Colourwork Cuff Club with Summerlee Knits, and I have been enjoying it. I'm way behind because the holidays and life. So I've only finished August and September, but that's okay. I can do them later. So I did finish the September socks. and I really like them. They're kind of different for me. If you've been following me, you'll know this is a different colors than I normally choose. So this was the September Colourwork Cuff Club pattern by Summerlee Knits, and she had done for this month, we got this pattern and then a pattern for a shorty where this pattern goes all the way through the shorty. So, but I wanted to do it like this. So you can see there, that is a navy in there. So this, I've had this yarn forever. It's a Patons Kroy. No, it's not a Patons Kroy. It's a Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in the North Pole Heather color. I've had this for so long, and I was just waiting for the perfect project, and then when I was picking yarn for this, I thought this was a good combination. So I used this Regia 4-ply for the cuff and the toe, and this is color number 02903, and I used this, which I don't know what it is now. I've lost the label, but it's a really nice yarn. It looks, I kind of think it's a Knit Picks yarn, because I remember thinking it looks really nice and woolly, like more of a natural sort of yarn than what it actually was. So I'm kind of thinking it was either a Regia or a Knit Picks, but it's very nice. So that is the light color up in here. And then this is what I have left of the Stroll Tweed, and the navy was the Katia United Soxx that come in these little, I think they're 20 gram or 25 gram little balls. I get these at a local yarn store to me, and these are great to just have on hand for color work projects. So that's all the yarns in these socks. So I'm pretty happy with them. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep these ones or use these as a gift for someone, but I'm happy they're done. Now I just have to get caught up on some of the other months. So, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying having some new options. So yeah, I'm glad I joined that. It was it's been a fun little venture. Okay, next is another pair of socks. I'm really noticing that socks are really just my happy place when it comes to knitting. I think a lot of the time when I sit down at the end of the day to knit, I'm pretty tired and lately kind of mentally exhausted. So socks is a good little project that you don't have to think too much. I don't know if you can hear that singing, but my daughter's in the kitchen singing. Okay, so this is my next finished object. These worked out so nice. I love the colors of this yarn. Now this is a yarn that I, again, have had for a long time and lost the label. So I just have this much left. But it was definitely like a Kroy, no, not a Kroy, like a Regia, or what was that other one? I thought maybe it was Lang. Actually pretty sure it's a Lang. But anyways, look at the colors. So nice. I just love these. So these ones, I'm thinking I know somebody that I gift socks to who would love these, but I also really love these socks. So we shall see if they become a gift or if they stay in my drawer. But if I knew which yarn it was, I would try to buy another one. But anyways, I can always give them away. There's always beautiful yarns out there, but we shall see. For now, they're just going to go in, I have a box in my closet that I just keep socks in right now, so that hopefully at Christmas time I'm gonna have enough to gift my kids this year. Last year they didn't get socks because last year was just crazy. So I'm hoping this year everyone's gonna get their homemade socks. So these are just a typical vanilla sock. I cast on 64 stitches, and I always do a 2x2 ribbing, and then I generally do 6 inches till I start the heel flap and turn, and then I do obviously the gusset and a standard toe. So that was another finished object, and these I started forever ago, so I was happy to get them done and off the needles, so that was a good accomplishment. I have been looking through some of my project bags that have been sitting around for a little while to see what kind of things I want to finish off, but then I decided that my grandkids needed some new hats for winter, so that kind of distracted me for a while. So now that I have the hats done, I can maybe go back and see some other half-finished objects that I could pick up and get out of the bags. I don't have a ton of objects that aren't finished, and I'm not too hard on myself about it. If I don't feel like working on them, I just don't. Just do something else, because knitting is supposed to be fun. So anyways, like I said, I thought my grandkids needed some new hats, and it started with my granddaughter Chloe. She has this really cute snowsuit, and it's this funny kind of pinky corally color, and it has little tiny kitty cat faces all over it in navy. But the pink is really a funny pink, and my daughter can't find anything to go with it as far as like hats and mitts. So I decided I would make her a kitty cat hat, because when I was young and when my kids were young, my mom used to make this hat all the time. And this was in an old This was in an old Patons book, and I thought I still had the book, but I couldn't find it when I wanted to go and knit this. And so I was looking online, and apparently, like, lots of people have been looking for this pattern, and the same thing, they're all like, my mother used to knit so many of these hats. So obviously this was a very popular pattern back in its day. But, and I guess somebody had messaged Patons to see if they're going to re-release this pattern, because obviously the book is out of print long ago, and they said no, they weren't, and they had sent the lady a copy of the pattern, so I was able to find it online and just print it out, and then my cat tried to eat it. But anyways, this is the kitty cat hat. My kids had them when they were little. They are the best hat. They stay on their head, and it covers their neck, and it doesn't pop up. It's just perfect. So I thought Chloe needed a kitty cat hat to go with her kitty cat coat. So I decided to do it in navy, since we can't find a pink to match her coat. So it's basically, it doesn't look so cute here. It looks adorable on their heads, but it's like a balaclava. So it's got the whole neck piece, and it's got some shaping in the back. You can see it, I think. Yeah. And yeah, it just slips over their head, and their ears are covered, and their neck is covered, and it can't fall off. It's the perfect hat. So, and of course I put my little label on it. Made with love by Grandma. So this one's for Chloe. So then I thought, well, Annie won't be happy if she doesn't have a kitty cat hat. So Annie's getting this pink hat, and Annie's coat is pretty much the same color, and I put a label on hers as well. And then I wanted to knit one for Levi, but I didn't think his mummy would like the kitty cat hat necessarily, even though I thought it would be so cute, because then she would have her own three little kittens. But I decided to make this hat for Levi. This is the Rockfall Hat by Tin Can Knits. And I ended up on this in the end because he has a jacket that's gray, but his snowsuit is it green? I think it's green. So I thought this will go with everything. And the gold color is left from a sweater I made him. And so is the green, and so is the navy. So those were all just scraps, and then I just had a ball of gray. So it was a great way to use up some of the leftovers. I ended up doing the child size hat instead of the toddler, just because he is kind of a big boy. Now, I did try this on him, and it is a little bit big, but it's still wearable, and she could fold up the brim a little bit more if she wanted. Let's see. You'd lose some of the color work, but still be warm and cozy. The only thing with these kind of hats is he's just gonna try to take it off his head. Where the kitty cat hats, they stay on their head. So anyways, I thought this turned out really cute, and it will go with all of his sweaters and both of his coats. So I figured that was a good use of all those leftovers. So all the colors that I used, I believe, are in here. So for Chloe's, I used, and it's all Berroco Vintage. Chloe's for the navy is 5143, and it's just the vintage. One of them is DK, but the rest are just the regular vintage worsted. I think it was this one that is the DK because it was left from his sweater. So I thought, oh well, it won't matter so much. Yes, it was this one. It's the vintage DK, and this one is color number 2192. This is a beautiful golden color. I'm not really a fan of these kinds of colors necessarily, but I do really like this one. And my daughter likes this color, so I will be making more for Levi out of this. It's a very nice golden color. Yeah, and I know I've said before that my local yarn store, she'll just order in whatever I need, and it's so great. And so last time I was there, I asked her to order in some of this for me because she had run out. So I'll have it on hand to make something for Levi. And the next color is the pink that I used for Annie's. And this is again the vintage, color 51170. And if you've watched me before, you know that I really love this color, and I've knit with it quite a few times. So, and she actually has a cardigan in this color and another hat in this color, so that's good. And then this is the green, and I had knit Levi the antler cardigan and the antler toque out of this. And again, it's the vintage, Berroco Vintage 51174. I'm trying to get really good at keeping these in the middle of my cakes so I'm not losing them. And then the gray, again, Berroco Vintage, color 5106. It's a nice gray. I might have to make him a cardigan at some point out of this. I like it. It would go with lots for little boys too. So those are all the scraps of my Berroco Vintage, and that's my go-to yarn for my grandkids. So I actually have a bin full of all the leftovers and full skeins that I have, so it's great. I can just pull them out, and I usually have something that can work. So yeah, it's nice using the same yarn all the time because then things match up very well, and it's just such a great yarn for kids knits. So, and this is the pattern that I had used for Levi's hat, the Rockfall Hat. And if you haven't tried out the Tin Can Knits app yet, I would highly recommend it, because even though I had this one printed out, you can knit right from the app, and it's great because you can choose what size you want, and that's the only size that it shows you, so it's really nice. Makes things very simple. Okay, how long we've been at this? 25 minutes. I don't normally have so many finished objects. Okay, I have one more knitted object, and this was another one of those ones that was sitting in a project bag forever, and I only had to do the decreases for the crown. And yet it sat in a bag for probably a year and a half. And that's the Musselburgh hat. And I started this, I don't even know how long ago. But this is knit out of Madelinetosh, Tosh Merino Light, which is 100% superwash merino wool. This was gifted to me by a friend, and it is a one of a kind. And this is how much I had left from my 100-gram skein. And here's the hat. And of course, when I wear it, I will roll up the bottom. But I had just blocked it the other night, so yeah, this has turned out really nice. This yarn is very pretty. Is that red spot in there? No. Yeah, very pretty. So yeah, just a simple Musselburgh hat. I do think I would like to have another one of these on the go, even though that one took me forever to get it off of the needles. I do really enjoy knitting these. So I don't know why I got stalled at the end so bad, but yeah, I would love to make some more of these. They're just such a great hat. And I feel like anyone you would gift this to would love it. Who doesn't love a nice cozy warm hat? Especially on days like today. So yeah, that was the Musselburgh hat, and that is by, who is that pattern by? Ysolda Teage, is it? It doesn't even say on here. Yes, Ysolda Teage. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. And it's the Musselburgh. And I'm sure you've heard of it because it's been very, very popular. So that's it for my knitting. And my next finished object I'm so excited about. So my granddaughter Annie, she is turning 5 today, and she loves anything to do with princesses. She dresses up all the time, like every day. And it's not always a princess, but she's always pretending to be like a princess or somebody she saw on TV or anyone. She really gets into character very well, especially for a 5-year-old. So anyway, she, like, during the day when she's at home and not at school, she's wearing princess dresses and dress up clothes all the time. So I have made her a few princess dresses. I've made Elsa and Anna and Rapunzel and Snow White. I think that's all. So this time I thought, she doesn't even seem to care like that it's Cinderella or Ariel or whatever, because she doesn't watch those shows. She gets frightened easily, so her parents don't let her watch those shows. And but anyway, she just loves beautiful dresses, and she was in my son's wedding, both of my son's weddings, in the last few years. And after the first wedding, my daughter just let her keep the dress and just let her wear it, and she, like, I think it's been thrown out now because she wore it to death. So I thought this time, instead of making it a Disney princess, I was just going to make her a beautiful dress. And she always talks about she wants dresses that go to her toes. So I decided to make her a dress that goes to her toes. So I just have to go over there and grab it, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Is this not so cute? So this is her beautiful dress that, it's hard to show you, will go to her toes. Maybe if I go back a little further, there. It does have a big tie on it. So, yep, a zipper in the back, so it's easy to get in and out of. And there's a big tie that we can tie a pretty bow. And I had her mummy measure her from her shoulders to her toes to make sure it would go all the way to her toes. And I just thought it was the cutest thing. So I went to Fabricland here in Canada, and I just looked for fabrics that were on sale to make it you know, affordable. Otherwise, some of these fabrics could be kind of expensive. And thankfully, they had a good sale on when I was there. And then I started making the dress and realized that the skirt was really going to be see-through. So I went back and I found this this fabric. So I ended up lining the skirt, and it's not really a lining fabric, but it was fine, and it was $4 a yard. So, and the lady at the store kind of looked at me funny, like, you're going to use that for lining, and I'm thinking, it's a dress-up dress for one thing, and it's $4. So yes, I am going to use it, and it was the perfect color, and so that's what I did. And so it's all lined. The top is also lined, and you can wear the shoulder things like down like this or up like this. Oops, there we go. And then the pattern had recommended buying like some flower embellishments, but I thought I could just try to make them out of the leftover fabric, so that's what I did. I just made these flowers with the leftovers from this fabric, which is like a taffeta. I think it's so cute, and she's gonna love it so much. She, at Christmas time, I gave her like a tutu skirt with a fuzzy sweater and gold sparkly shoes, because she's just like, that's just her. And she, like, right in the middle of Christmas, had to go to the bathroom and change all of her clothes into her sparkly skirt and sparkly shoes. So I'm assuming tonight, in the middle of her birthday party, she's going to run to the bathroom and put this dress on. So yeah, and it's kind of funny because, you know, when I envisioned myself as a grandma, I knew I'd be the grandma that would, like, take them to the animal farm, or like bake cookies with them, or make crafts with them, but I never envisioned myself as the grandma who was going to sew princess dresses. But that's what I've become. So, and you know, she's turning 5, and I thought, how much longer is she going to want to wear princess dresses? So I have to make her a new one. So she didn't ask for one for her birthday, but I just thought, she needs to have another one, because next year she's going to be 6 and she might be too cool for princess dress up then. So, and right now she'll be so excited about this dress. This will be so exciting for her. And she's, you know, obviously her shoes that I bought her at Christmas, her gold sparkly shoes, will still fit. So she's going to have gold sparkly shoes to go with her princess dress that goes to her toes. So this is why I had the podcast today, to show you that beautiful dress. I'm just so happy with how it turned out. And yeah, it was fun to make. I love making things for them. Makes me so happy. So, and hopefully they remember these days someday. So I just will go put this back. So that's all my finished objects, which I think that's pretty good for January. I finished all of that stuff in January, I believe. Yeah. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping my year is going to be like this. A more crafty year than last year. So, we shall see. We shall see. I'm hoping it's going to be better this year, because I know I've mentioned on here before that my father is in the hospital and has been since March. So he is still there, but there is talk that he will be moving soon to long-term care. So I think that will make things a little bit easier on me and my mom. And I've also got my mom moved into her retirement home now, and she's kind of settled there. So yeah, hopefully this year's going to just be a little less stressful than last year was. But we shall see. So I'm trying to get in as much crafting time as I possibly can. It was funny because my daughter had some dental surgery the other day. That was supposed to be like 2 hours, and it turned into 4 hours. But the dental surgeon likes you to stay in the office while because they put them right out. And thankfully I took my knitting like we do. And when he came out at the 2-hour mark to tell me that it was going to be another 2 hours, I was knitting, and he was like, hey, you might be able to finish that by the time we're done. So I didn't because it was a men's sock. But then when he came back out later, he was like, wow, you got a lot done. So it's good to take our knitting places so that we can make opportunities of these times. All right, this next sock, I think I've shown it before, is a men's sock. I didn't bring my men's sock blocker over here. Let me grab it. Okay, I'm back. I find this sock looks really funny when it's not on a blocker because it's ribbed. And I just looked outside and it's snowing again. And I have to drive out to my daughter's this evening, which is not fun if it's snowy and blowy. The roads to her house are quite open, so if it's snowing and blowing, it's kind of a miserable drive. But, okay. So, I have one of the socks done. And I am working on the other. Oops. All twisted. Okay, there we go. There's one of the socks. So these ones, as you can imagine, have taken a little bit longer than a typical sock. Between the size of a men's foot and the ribbing, this has been a slow process. But I am loving how they're knitting up. So I finished this sock, I think, last year, and I'm making good progress on the second sock. This is actually what I was working on at the dentist the other day. So yeah, so this yarn here, the colorful one, is Nako, sorry, put this down, Nako Boho. And if I had to guess where I bought this, because that's what it would be, is a guess, I'm guessing Mary Maxim, but I don't know that for sure. The color is 82453, and it's called Gray Mandala. And I think it's really nice for men. I do find sometimes it's hard to find nice men's colors. So I know when I first started knitting this, I was just going to do like a vanilla sock, but I found I didn't like the way it was working up as much in the stocking stitch as I did in the rib. So I ended up doing all this ribbing, but it is turning out really nice. So this will be for one of my sons or son-in-law for Christmas. Actually, it'll be one of my sons because it's too big for my son-in-law. So, and oh, and the gray, the solid gray. See, they look funny when they're not on the solid gray contrast that I'm using for the heel and toe is a Patons Kroy Gentry gray, which I always have in my stash because it goes with so many things. And then this is the second sock. I'm really getting there. Be glad when this one's done. So here we are. So I basically did this whole foot the other day when I was at the dentist between all my interruptions. So let's see how much I have left to do. Not a ton. So a few inches, and then the toe. So hopefully in the next week or so I will finish those and have those put away for Christmas. And my boys are needing some new socks because my one son brought me 3 pairs of socks to mend, and the other one brought me 1 pair of socks to mend. But they're really, really far gone, so I don't know if I can actually mend them or how that's going to happen. So we shall see. Now my next work in progress is another men's sock. I'm just really trying to get a jump on Christmas in January. Because I know, well, I was saying to my daughter, my oldest daughter, I feel like in January, February, March, I just have a little more crafting time because you don't have all the outdoor work to do in the winter like you do in the spring and summer. So I think that's why I'm trying to use up my time wisely in the winter. And in the winter, you just want to stay inside and knit. You don't want to go outside in the cold. Okay, so I started another men's sock. This is the one that I'm planning will be for my son-in-law. I thought when I started knitting it, the colors just made me think of him. So, and I'm hoping there'll be enough to make Levi a pair to match. So this is how it's knitting up. It's really nice. This one I definitely bought at Mary Maxim. And this is the Superba Supi Dupi 4-ply. And it looks like it comes in all different colors. And this one is color number 005. Yeah, so it's, I've knit a pair of socks in a Superba yarn before, not the same one. It was more like a speckled yarn than like striping like this. And they're one of my favorite socks. I really like them. So when I saw this and I saw these colors, I thought this would be a great guy's sweater. I mean, sock. So my son-in-law, he also really likes Carhartt clothing, especially the, you know, the standard Carhartt brown color. So when I started knitting these, I thought, oh yeah, this looks like Sam. So Sam will get these for Christmas. And his feet are quite a bit smaller than my son's feet. So hopefully there'll be enough to make Levi a little pair too. And they can have matching socks. So yeah, it's knitting up really nice. It's different. It's not like, not so much a self-striping, but just, yeah, different. I like it. So I will probably use the same brown that I used on my, oh, it's right here, on my September socks. Yeah, I'll probably use this for the contrast. Heels and toes, and then that will help stretch this a little further to hopefully get Levi a pair. So yeah, I'll just use this Regia again. And that's it for my works in progress. I don't even think I have any sewing projects on the go right now that I've kind of wrapped up a few things, so it feels good to kind of have a fresh plate to start some new projects. So the only other thing I wanted to talk to you about was a couple gifts that I got for Christmas. I don't generally get a lot of sort of nitty gifts, but my son and his wife lately have been, for any occasion really, going to their local yarn store and getting me things. So that's kind of fun. And sometimes I'm very distracted. There's like a lot of activity at my neighbor's house. There was an ambulance there today even. So yeah, it's a sad situation over there. The gentleman is quite ill. So, what was I saying now? Oh yes, my son. Sometimes he'll even call me from the yarn store when he's there and like show me what's available. Which one do you want? He'll say, because I guess he thinks he doesn't know my style, but I think he does. But anyways, at Christmas time, they got me some yarn, some laying. Their local yarn store is a beautiful yarn store, so they have different things that I can get out here. So one of the things they bought me was this laying super socks, which I love laying sock yarns. And it's in these jewel tones, I guess you'd call them. So this is definitely outside of my typical, like what I would typically be drawn to, but I think it's really pretty. So it looks like they're gonna knit up like this, and yeah, it's color 901.0386. Laying Capital Cities 2 Super Sock 4-ply. Oh, I see. So this is capital cities, I guess, around the world, and this is Reykjavik in Iceland. So that's kind of neat. yeah, so I can imagine these will knit up fairly nice, and I think I know who I will make these for, just based on the colors. I also had mentioned to my son that when he was asking what I wanted, I told him that I was doing that Colourwork cuff club and that I needed some like solid yellow. So he got me two, a light yellow and a darker yellow. So now this one comes with the little spool inside that Lang sometimes comes with. Let's see if I can get it out to show you. Now I thought, sorry, I'm so distracted. Nosy neighbor. Oh dear. I like to know what's going on over there though, because I do like to go over there and help his wife when I can. Okay, so this one has the little spool inside, which if you haven't used Lang soft yarns before, some of them come with a little spool. And this is like a reinforcing thread that you can knit into your like heels or toes to give a little more strength to those areas. So any of the Langs that I've had in the past have had the spools in them, and now it seems like, I don't know if they're stopping it or it's kind of hit and miss, because this yellow had it and this one doesn't. So I hope they're not gonna stop doing this, because I think they're great. But, and I always use them when I have them. Now this also did not come with one. Nope. So anyways, their sock yarn is very durable anyways, but it is nice to have that extra little spool to put in. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these knit up. Interested to see. Anyways, now I have some yellows for my Colourwork Cuff Club, and I know for the December sock I would have needed some yellow for sure. So, and I went through most of my yarn I keep in my basement in bins, but I have a cabinet in my living room that I also keep yarn in, because you know have to hide it everywhere, don't we? But I went through all my yarn downstairs and pulled out any solid colored skeins. So now I have all my solid color yarn together. So that's making it easier when I want to pick yarns for the Colourwork Cuff Club, or also if I'm just looking for heels and toe contrast colors, I have my whole collection all together. So, and I had no yellow at all. So I definitely needed these. So it's nice to have a son who's willing to go to the yarn store for you. So I appreciate that gift. Of course, I appreciate all my gifts, but it's fun to get some new yarn. I also got this knitting book from my daughter and her husband, Joyful Colourwork Socks by Charlotte Stone. And I actually have her first book too, so I'm happy to have this as well. And the cover one is kitty cats. And if you know me at all, you know that I love cats. So yeah, my granddaughters were like, are you gonna make the kitty cat socks? So I haven't actually knit anything out of here yet, but I will at some point. I do want to get back into my Colourwork Cuff Club, because the February one's going to be coming out soon, and I haven't done October, November, December, or January, so I need to get knitting. But anyways, I'm trying to get some of these men's socks out of the way so that I'm feeling motivated to do them right now, so I'm like, I should just do them instead of putting it off till later in the year when I'm busy or something comes up. So anyways, that's all I've been working on, but I think that's good for me. I'm excited to be back into my knitting more than I have been lately, because yeah, last year was a lot. I'm hoping this year is going to be a little kinder to me and my family. We actually have a lot going on in our family right now with people with health issues. Thankfully, not me. I've had my share over the years. So, but yeah, we do have a lot going on. so that's unfortunate. But hopefully this year is going to pan out to be nice. I'm still going to my knitting group on Saturdays, and that's been fun. Last year I did miss a lot of that, just with my parents and, you know, having to do a lot for them. But I know I need to go, because it's kind of the only thing I really do for myself. And now there's nurses at my neighbor's house. Yeah, it's really the only thing I do for myself and by myself. I usually have my daughter with me all the time, and Saturday mornings is the one time I don't let her come with me. And yeah, so I know I need to do it. It's good for me, and it's inspiring to see what everyone else is knitting, although some days it can be a little depressing too, because they're all making beautiful sweaters and stuff, which I just don't have the capacity for that right now. So I usually have socks. Oh, but I should tell you, let me grab one more thing. So I don't know why this happened, but after Christmas, I guess I pulled out my Berroco Vintage bin, and I was looking for yarn for the kids' hats. And while I was in the bin, I was thinking ahead to Christmas and what sweaters I would like to make them for Christmas. So last year, well, in 2023, I made the girls this sweater, the Blossom of Snow sweater. And both of the girls have worn them a lot and are still wearing them. Now, Annie's is getting a little bit small on her, but it'll probably last through the winter. So I thought, I've already knit the sweater. I know how it fits. I know that I liked it. So I think I'm just going to knit the same sweater in different colors. And that's the beauty of color work, right? It's going to look very different. So I was looking through to see what I would have already that I could either skein up or like take the scraps to the yarn store with me and pick out some of the colors. So I ended up going out to the yarn store. So I have all the yarn to do Chloe's and Levi's. And then so I want them all to like not match, but coordinate. And so I have it so that Chloe and Levi's are coordinating, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted for Annie's, so I'm going to do the two little ones first, and then I'll be able to pick the colors for Annie's as we go along. So I have everything all caked up in my free Frankie Gray fiber bag that I got. So everything's ready to go already. I'm like so organized. Oh, and then when I was getting Chloe's yarn, so the main color for Chloe's is going to be this, which is very pretty. And my daughter really likes this color, and this color looks really cute on Chloe. So I wanted this in the Berroco Vintage, like 100 gram skeins, but they didn't have it. Oh, actually, is it DK? Yes, it's DK, not worsted. They didn't have the full skeins, but she had this Berroco baby, vintage baby, which she says is the same yarn. It's just in smaller balls. So this is what I got for Chloe's main color, and Levi's main color is this denim color. So Levi's gonna have, let's see if I can remember. Oh, he's also going to have that gold again, which I already put away. Two blues, gray, gold, off-white. I made a list even. Is there no, that's Chloe's. Oh, and the teal. And then that gold that I'd used before. That's going to be cute, eh? And he's got blue eyes, so it's going to look so cute on him. And then Chloe's is the teal, and then a light teal, and she'll have that gold. and the off-white and the gray. Imagine some gold in there. Just a little bit of gold and pink. I love it. So right now, if I had to choose right now for Annie, I would choose this as her main color and just use all the same colors. But in this, on the floor. It's so pretty. But yeah, I just want to wait and see how it all works when they're done. There's a chance that I could do them the same too. I don't really want to though, because then I feel like Chloe has to wear the same sweater for like 4 years because she then wears Annie's hand-me-downs. So Annie's from last time was a light gray like this. So I definitely don't want to do her main color this. So I'm thinking it will probably be this. The other thing is, I wonder if there's a color sort of in between these two. I kind of think there was. And again, my yarn store, she'll just order me whenever I want because she's so great. And that's Country Yarns in Petrolia if you live in this area. So I'm excited about this, and I think I'm actually going to start Levi's soon. And the nice thing too with picking the sizes is I know what size I knit last time. So like I could pick a different pattern and it wouldn't necessarily fit the same, but I know exactly what size I'm going to do and how it's all going to work out. So I'm excited to do this. So I might actually start one of these this weekend because I'm feeling excited. And again, I'm excited about these projects now, so I might as well just get started. And then maybe in December I'll be like all done and ready. So anyways, that's it for knitting. So now I'm surrounded in yarn, and I'm gonna have to put it all away because one of my cats is obsessed. So yep, I need to put everything away, and I need to wrap up my beautiful princess dress for my sweet little princess, and then go to a birthday party for my sweet 5-year-old. So I'm excited about that. Anyways, I hope you're well and warm wherever you are. I saw on the news snow in places that don't normally get snow, so it's kind of funny in a way for us Canadians, but I know it's hard on people who aren't used to having snow because you don't have the means to move the snow like we do. So and also on the news, those horrific fires in California, and I hope none of you are being affected by those. Yeah, anyways, if you ever have any questions or comments, you can leave them below, or you can message me over on Instagram. I'd love to chat. And other than that, I hope you're enjoying your knitting, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.